Hello everybody, and thanks for joining us today on This is Drive. This is Kyle, Edward, and today we are going to be taking a look at the 2018 Ford Taurus SHO. Now, I'm sure as most of you are well aware, the Taurus SHO has been around for a very long time. That actually hasn't been redesigned since 2010, aside from a few minor updates and touches here and there. Now, the same goes for the Chevy Impala and Chrysler 300, although those are slightly less dated. The American full-size sedan segment is in and of itself getting pretty old and really showing its age. Now, it's not all doom and gloom. I do appreciate a few features and touches on the Taurus SHO, such as the large wheels, which actually are black inside as well, and machine faced, which look pretty cool. They have the SHO emblem in them, as you can see. The SHO badging on the side and on the rear as well. Now, stepping along back to the back here, you can also see that the rear lights are LED, which is nice. Now, the actual reverse lights are not, but the brake lights are, and it looks pretty decent. Rear chrome tipped exhaust dual, as you can see on both sides. Again, the SHO badging back here, as well as an EcoBoost badge signifying that we do have the 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6 engine, which is pretty impressive. Puts out a lot of power, and it is really what makes this particular model special. So as you can see, it's showing its age. It's been around for quite a long time. Many police stations and forces use this vehicle, as well as government agencies, seeing that it is a large car and it is also very dependable. They're pretty bulletproof actually, which I can appreciate. They go for a very long time and they are very reliable. Now, this particular vehicle has all-wheel drive. It's available in both a front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive platform. So it's nice that we have the option for both. Now, the SHO is only available in all-wheel drive, considering all of the horsepower and torque that it does have. It is obviously a performance-oriented vehicle, so it gives us more traction, more pickup, and all of that fun, good stuff that we have all come to know and love as American drivers. Now, the SHO version looks alright, but for most of us out there, it's definitely a bit old, and yeah, it's showing its age. So let's go and step on the inside here, and we can go ahead and go over some of the features and talk about the interior design as well. Alright, now that we're inside, you can see that the interior is pretty basic for a current Ford model. I'm not sure if any of you recall like the 2012 or 2014 Ford Explorer, but the interior is very similar to that. We still have the old multimedia system controls. Not necessarily a bad thing, and they still look pretty interesting, but it's definitely looking quite dated in here. Of course, the door panels are pretty interesting, though. I always did like them. They have this right here, and then up here it's pretty odd plastic, and on all the SHO models they get this sort of, they kind of want it to look like carbon fiber, but doesn't. If I can pronounce carbon fiber, that is, then that's what we're talking about. The door handle right here is very large, and it's up quite far, right near the controls for the headlights. There's auto, which is good. The window controls, the door handles here have a nice chrome accent on them. So, there are a few nice touches in here. It's definitely not terrible by any means, but it's definitely showing its age. The start button is actually right here, and the trunk is over there. Really convenient. Simple. Obviously, put on the brake. Press the button to start, obviously. Now, I just would like to draw your attention up here real quick over to the screen. They are still using this setup on quite a few of the cars, and I do like it. Very easy to use. There's a control on this, which I'll show you in a minute, but there's some arrows which correlates to whichever side of the screen. We have Bluetooth, of course. Navigation can show up there, as well as phone. So, no, that's good. It also shows you, as you can see, the temperature, the direction you're headed, and the time. Then if we sort of go over here to the left side of the screen, you can see a couple other things. So show some different information. So display mode, distance, speedometer, all that fun stuff. Go to the trip, it shows you pretty simple information there. Fuel economy, yes, won't be getting anything too wonderful with this engine, which is alright. And settings shows you some things like easy entry, exit, auto vehicle, all that good stuff. So some settings in there, pretty basic, standard, but it's displayed in a nice way. And I did always enjoy the gauge display here on the Taurus. I think it looks pretty cool, a little retro. It goes nicely, I believe, with this trim here, which is actually metal. Again, on the SHO model. And it follows that trim over here as well with a SHO accent piece. The dashboard design is pretty interesting. As you can see, it's like a wave. It comes in and out like a wave, and you know, I like it. It's tasteful. It's been around since around 2010, but you know, it's still pretty tasteful. There's a better view of the door panels. You can see what I was saying. So definitely very curvy car. Lots of circular type angles. The SHO is embroidered there in the seat. The seats are relatively comfortable. This part though doesn't come out very far, so if you have longer legs, it's not what you'd expect from such a large vehicle. Definitely by no means uncomfortable, but they could be better designed. The back seat is quite comfortable. I really like how far up the seats go, and it's actually your head does fit on the headrest. So side note. Coming over to the system here, it's Sync 3, touchscreen activated. The home screen can display the different displays all at once. Of course, heated, cooled seats, heated steering wheel, all that good stuff. You know, you can touch that and go to the music settings. Same for climate, phone, navigation. So everything is pretty. Response time is very quick, which is definitely appreciated, and it's very easy to use. Some ambient lighting. I always like to go with the blue because it is a Ford after all. This is how you adjust the volume. Right? Crazy, I know. Source, sound. Quickly look and see what settings you have. Now this is kind of funny. Right here, you actually have your sunshade button, your lane departure, and auto park, so it can parallel park itself. So we press this button, and rear sunshade appears. So then it's like a backwards E design. Room for different things, phone, wallet, water bottles, all that good stuff. I think it is funny how they incorporated that right up here, because they were like, hey, the Taurus needs all that stuff. What are we going to do? How are we going to put it in there? All right, let's make a quick fix. And that's what they did. So anyway, the steering wheel is leather wrapped. It's very comfortable. I always enjoyed this steering wheel design of Ford's. It has a lot of nice points to hold on to. Your thumb can sit right here. So a lot of different spots. Paddle shifters on the wheel. We do have the laser guided cruise control, which is nice as well. And that's right over here. You can set the distance and speed all right there. So anyway, that's, you know, a pretty detailed overview of the interior of the 2018 Ford Taurus SHO. Again, it is showing its age. The seats are still comfortable. Obviously, the design could be a little bit better, and you know, it's showing its age, and it's sort of sad to see that happen. But like many cars in its class right now, the dollars to make these cars better and different, they're going to the SUVs and trucks, which are the big dollar items right now with lower gas prices. So cars even like the Chevy Impala, they are also, you know, very dated right now, and this is just how it is for the full-size American car. But now we're going to move on, and we're going to take it for a drive. I will go over driving information, how it drives, specs, and all that fun stuff, and it's definitely a high point for the Taurus. So let's go ahead and do that. So to my point before, right now, the auto manufacturers just really don't have the dollars to improve their full-size sedans, since that's not really where the money is right now. The low gas prices, everybody is going for the pickup truck or the crossover or the full-size SUV like Ford Expedition or Chevy Suburban. Now that means that cars like the Taurus and the Impala, even the Chrysler 300, if we want to go there, are really lacking compared to other full-size sedans like the Honda Accord. Now, one might argue that a Ford Taurus is a fair bit different than a car like the Honda Accord when it comes to some of the driving dynamics and the looks, and that is true, of course, to a certain extent. Now, it's not all gloom and doom for the Taurus, I will tell you that. I really do appreciate how much fun and athletic it really is, right? So the engine in this vehicle is Ford's workhorse. It's their 3.5 liter direct injected twin turbo EcoBoost V6. So we see this in the Expedition, we see this in, I believe, the Explorer Sport. We see it also in the F-150. So it's one of the top engines for Ford as far as the powerhouse goes. It makes 365 horsepower at 5,500 RPMs in this application. They change those numbers, tune it a little bit differently depending on the vehicle, of course. And then, even better, is the 350 pound-feet of torque that come in at just 1,500 RPMs. And that stays all the way till around 5,250 RPM, so it's a nice long band. We have a 6-speed automatic transmission on this car. Yes, 6 speeds these days is not very many, considering that most cars now have 8 or 10 speeds. But in this application, again, I have absolutely no complaints with it. It works well, and when it's also made into an all-wheel drive system like this, is you can just quick shifts, and yeah, what more do you really need at that point, right? So it does exactly what it needs to. It goes really fast, really quickly. So the 0 to 60 time on this car is somewhere in the around the 5.5 second, 6 second range. So it's very quick, and there's plenty of power on demand at any time. Now, talking about the all-wheel drive, that's standard on the Taurus SHO. That's the only train option for it, and that's really all that should be available. There's also a sport mode, which I'll demonstrate now. Put it into sport mode, and this is, again, what I really love with the all-wheel drive. Well, to your stop sign, it looks like really a Taurus, and then, oh God, just goes like a crazy man chasing after money. I don't know. It's pretty ridiculous, and just how it grips the road, people. And it's only 38 degrees outside, so definitely not ideal temperatures for grip. But man, it just goes exactly where you point it. Oh man, picks up so nice. So, yes, it may be dated with how it looks. Yes, the interior may be dated, but man, if you want a bargain car that's really fast and just drives really well, there is not much better value out there than the Taurus SHO. You're looking at discounts of over $10,000 in a lot of cases off the sticker. So this car we're sitting in right here is 42, right? Maybe actually 43, but right in the low 40s, and you can pick up a new one for pretty much around $32,000, and even a nice used one for even a little bit less than that. So again, for the price point, it's just, it's a good value. Again, you just, oh man, it just sucks up the road, let me tell you. So, we're at this red light, and everyone's like, oh, look it's a Taurus. How boring, right? And we're next to a nice Range Rover Velar and some soccer mom, but when the light turns green, we just, yeah. We're like, oh, goodbye. Goodbye. Oh man, okay. You guys get the idea. It's fun, okay? It puts a big smile on anybody's face, and it's fun. So anyway, I hope that this provided some level of information to everybody out there. And again, this car is great for somebody who's looking for a bargain and wants to go really fast. Take care.